going into camp leading up to your first game in just over a week's time?
Yeah, all's been really good so far. Obviously, we had a big gap between the end of the league and the first round of the Leinster Championship there, and then another fairly decent gap as well between Leinster Championship and this Meath game. But we're about a week out now, and yeah, Meath's going well. Meath's good in the camp, everything's going well. We've had a good bit of work done over the last few weeks, so we'll be hoping to bring it to another level now coming into the championship.
New manager on board this year in Frank Brown. What has Frank brought to the table different to your last manager?
Everybody brings something different. Frank's been a great introduction for us. I think he's come in at a really good time. He's brought a lot of experience from other senior inter-county camps, and he's definitely had a new approach when he's come in, looking at other areas. It's nice to get a new perspective on things. You pick up on areas that maybe we were lacking beforehand. He's brought with him a very experienced management team. Mark Cooney's gone in coaching us as well, another man that has a massive amount of experience, particularly at Inter-County Camogie. So we're bringing a new approach to games. We're looking at opposition in a new way, and then bringing that focus onto ourselves as well. Really trying to improve aspects of our game that haven't been at standard for the last few years, that maybe have left us short behind some of the bigger teams. So yeah, everything going well.
The league campaign itself, bit of a mixed bag as far as results are concerned, but that was probably more a case of you getting used to the new management and the new management getting used to you, and maybe implementing new game plans and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So sure, look, the one thing that the likes of Cork and Kilkenny are going to have on everyone at this stage is that their management teams are in a long time, the players are playing with each other a long time, and that's not the case. Dublin this year, new management team in. I know personally going back into the team this year, probably half the girls that are lining out in the first 15, never mind on the panel, I wouldn't know or wouldn't have played with before. So there's a lot of kind of getting used to do. There's a lot of feeling around different players in different positions, and with that kind of territory, you're always going to have ups and downs. So the league was definitely, it was a good learning experience for us. We got to feel out how we're going as a team, who plays well with who, and just kind of get a feel for ourselves and the direction that we want to go in, and kind of get a good map and a good plan out for going forward into the championship.
And looking at the championship, it's a fairly tough group. You've got Tipperary, Waterford, and the All-Ireland champions Cork in there as well. As well as your first opponents, Meath and Clare. So it's a tough enough group.
Yeah, look, both sides are tough. That kind of way. I think the way Camogie's going at the moment, the top division it's always going to be a hard group, no matter what side you get drawn on. But over the other side, Kilkenny, Galway, not easy opponents either, as well as Limerick and some of the others. So you're never going to get easy matches, but that's what you want. Nobody wants to walk through group stages, doesn't do you any favours. So we'll be looking forward to getting a few decent games out, and some of the teams that we wouldn't have had a chance to play yet. We haven't played Cork yet this year. They'll be a very good team. It's interesting to get to play against them, to see where you're at as a team, and at the end of the day, that's what we're working for. We want to be pitching ourselves up against the best teams. No interest in easy matches.
Last year, quarter-final stage, a year before semi-final stage. So what would you be looking for this year? I know all players are going to say win the All-Ireland, but for progress from last year, where do you see that?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, from my perspective, 2 years ago, hitting an All-Ireland semi-final was fantastic. It was a massive move forward for us, first time in 27 years. So obviously you've bridged that gap, but as far as we're concerned, that's done, and that should be expected of us at this stage. So we'll be looking, obviously, as you say, to win an All-Ireland is the main goal. But we're looking to move forward the whole time, and anything short of that isn't going to be good enough in our eyes. So definitely want to be reaching knockout stages and looking to kind of contest from there on, rather than just being happy to have made knockout stages and be making up numbers at that point. We want to be pushing on from there.
Plenty of new faces in the panel this year as well. Some young players have come in. Which ones have impressed you the most so far?
Yeah, we've had a load of new players in. Some very impressive players. A lot of them have come up from having played with the Premier Junior team that won the All Ireland there. So they're, it's a big addition to have those girls out with us. Some of the young players coming up. Sinead Wild's been up with us. She's playing in the midfield from Coola. Young player doing really, really well. Kerry Finnegan's another young player. She's playing up around the front. Very good hand, very good eye for a score, and it's brilliant to see them play because they're getting so much experience out now, playing at the senior level with the older girls. They've come on so far already. It'd be really interesting to see how they go now come championship.
Your first game, as you say, is against Meath. Two teams met in last year's championship. It finished 2-11 to 8 to Dublin. Looking at the scoreline, it would look like it was a fairly easy win for Dublin. It was anything but. I was at the game. It was the two goals that really sort of push Dublin ahead. But Meath, they're a tough and awkward opponent, aren't they?
Yeah, we would have played Meath a number of times over the last couple of years. Obviously last year in Championship, but apart from that, when they were kind of top of Division 2, we would have played them in a lot of challenge games. So we'd know them well. They're a good side. They'll know us well, and they'll put a good challenge up to us, and we'll be looking to get out and get a good physical game off them. And as you say, hopefully get a few scores on the board, push on from that win last year, and go off in the same direction again this year.
It's probably vitally important with the group that you're in to get off to a good start as well. So I think you're probably targeting the first 2 games to get off on that good footing before you play Cork.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll be looking to win every game going into it ultimately. But as you say, nobody, starting off on a win is ideal. That's what we'll ultimately be looking for. The likes of Meath and Waterford, yeah, absolutely. We'll fancy ourselves to be as good as anybody on the day, but definitely looking to get wins in the first couple of games going forward. When you get your confidence up, everyone believes a little bit more in themselves, and coming up to the likes of Cork, obviously, who are All Ireland champions. If you've a few wins under the belt and you've got a couple of good games going into a game like that, it's easier to back yourself, and you'll be hopefully playing well and stuff at that stage. So.
Before the Leinster Championship, you picked up an injury yourself. How's that going?
It's a lot better than it was. Yeah. Probably should have sat out the Leinster Championship, but we make mistakes and we go on anyway. So look, injuries are inevitable in the game. That kind of way, everybody picks them up at one stage or another. So I'll just be grateful that hopefully I'm getting to the end of dealing with it now, rather than coming into dealing with it in a championship. So.
When the team loses a player like yourself, the panel is really strong now. So it's maybe not as it possibly was a couple of years ago, where a key player like yourself missing, would have been detrimental to the side. Yeah,
well, I'm definitely replaceable. If that's what you're saying. But I think I always was. I don't think that's a change. No, definitely. Look, we've massive strength and depth in the squad, and that's something that I suppose that kind of a luxury that we have from having a new panel, is that we don't have as many kind of established household names as maybe would have been the case in Dublin in previous years. There's a lot of young players, there's a lot of fresh players coming up. It's very difficult to tell for a number of positions who's going to be in on any given day. So that level of competition obviously is needed, but is especially needed when people do pick up injuries and might be missing for a game or two. So yeah, no, I'll be struggling to get a place back, I'd say, now at this stage.
That competition, though, it's good for particularly for players who may have been there for a couple of years. There's no guarantees of places. You have to put the work in.
Young ones keeping us on our toes, absolutely. Yeah, no, it is. It's brilliant. And look, that level of competition allows us to have better training sessions, better games in training. Just in-house camp and everything like that. It keeps it competitive, keeps players pushing each other on, and ultimately it's that will bring us on to the next level.
And stepping away from the inter-county scene, another good year for you at club level with St Vincent's. A couple of weeks ago you just won the league again.
Yeah, well, this year as opposed to last year, another good year. yeah, off to the right start. Unfortunately I missed that game myself, but the girls did really well. Same thing, couple of injuries, and still managed to get out, put on. We were probably off to a bit of a slow start out against Fina, and Fina are a very strong team, strong representation again on the county panel this year. A lot of young players coming up within that club in itself, and they have a good balance at the moment between experience like Eve O'Brien and the Greys and players like that coming up that'll be a bit younger. So they have a very strong team. They'll be a force definitely this year in Dublin Championship, and from our perspective, look, it's great to get the win. League is league, Championship is where the focus is on, so we'll be driving on again end of the summer.
You mentioned Fina there. Your captain this year is Roisin Baker. What's she like as a captain?
Yeah, Roisin Baker's gone in as captain, and Ash Carolan has gone in as vice captain. So between the two of them, really good pairing. Obviously, Roisin has so much dedication to the team. She's so much drive. She's the only one that's consistently positive when we're on run number 40 in the middle of the winter and it's lashing rain. So yeah, we've got a great level of enthusiasm from Roisin. She's a real leader in the team, and Ash Carolan obviously buckets of experience. She's years in there. We're all constantly still trying to catch up with her. So between the two of them, they've made a really good team so far.